Over the last year, in all of our businesses, we've gone through a very interesting and, quite frankly, dramatic transformation. A transformation from kind of the business as usual operational practices to being faced with the need for the digitization of the delivery of all of your products. And that has forced companies into the need for a whole lot more data about their operations and a lot more data about their customers. See, one follows the other. So this has then in turn led to the need for you to do something about this. So I'm going to talk about the need for a data analytics methodology, but in two contexts. One is if you're a consulting services company trying to help businesses deal with this digital revolution we're going through, you should be thinking about the methodology that you instill within your client. If you're a company and you recognize the need for this, then you need to provide yourself the necessary practices without a consultant. You're going to do these very same things, but you're going to be leading it yourself. So I'll just forewarn you, this is a very traumatic change. Unless you are a very seasoned consultant yourself, you probably ought to get help from someone who really knows how to deal with this transformation that you're about to go through and help you through it. A little commercial for the consultants of the world. But before I get into that, let's talk about subscribing to our YouTube channel. This is our usual advertisement. This video, along with many others on lots of different subjects in entrepreneurship, are in this playlist called Perspectives on Entrepreneurship. So I urge you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's the YouTube channel. Subscribe now, and you'll see not only this playlist, but many others. And I'll bet you will find something that will be helpful to you somewhere within these 500 plus videos that exist on our YouTube channel these days. So please take the opportunity to subscribe, make your comments, ask your questions, we'll respond. So let's get back into the data analytics methodology subject here. So how do you start with all of this? Well, look, I don't mean to oversimplify this because this is fairly traumatic, this particular subject, I mean. The first thing always is isolate in on what the problems are. What issues are you having as a company? And here's 4 that are possible challenges that you might have, particularly coming out of this pandemic, and is revenue stagnation. Certain businesses have been devastated and are going to have to fight their way back. Cost overruns, the supply chain of components and products and even services are extraordinarily high and getting higher. Some of them may or may not come back to pre-COVID levels of costs, but your whole supply chain may be overrun with cost overruns. If that's you probably need to deal with this. Missed commitments. If you're missing schedules, particularly schedules that you've committed to customers, mainly due to personnel issues of them not being able to operate like they used to, and you didn't know that or you didn't factor that in, you're missing customer commitments. That's not a good thing, is it? You're running the risk that it leads to this next issue, that you've got customer dissatisfaction and it's being expressed publicly. You're getting poor ratings and poor testimonials, if any. So there's a few, but in any engagement, whether you've got a consultant helping you or not, or you're going to go about this yourself, the first thing you do is take stock of what are the issues you're having. You spend some time here wallowing in it and summarizing what are the most significant issues that we're facing as a company. It's a major step. If you don't do this first, you're going to have a difficult time focusing from here forward and doing anything about it. understand the issues that face you first and foremost. Then go ahead and establish some objectives that you want to meet as a result of learning what these problems are, and that and establishing that you really want to do something about it. If it's revenue growth, you establish a set of objectives for how you want to turn around this revenue situation. You do it numerically. Our revenue is this going forward, and we want our revenue to be something greater. Or maybe it's more mixed. Maybe there's a mixture of different kinds of products, and you're finding that some are succeeding and some are not. You're going to have to do something about this. Your profit margins may have been one of the issues, and you want to reduce costs, supply chain costs, manufacturing costs, costs of personnel, in services, all sorts of cost problems you can shake a stick at, depending on where they're coming from. But you establish new cost objectives. Improve efficiency, knowing how your company operates. It could be marketing efficiency. We're not getting enough leads. We're not getting enough qualified leads. We're not closing on enough in our sales process. Whatever the case may be, improving efficiency can take lots of forms, and it is probably a major process shift and perhaps even talent shift to improve efficiency. Your responsiveness to customer needs is slowing down. You're not understanding their needs. Well, that's a big problem. That calls for some market research and understanding of where your customers are at today. They've come out of a major upheaval in their businesses, just like you have. Well, you better understand them too. In order to increase responsiveness, you got to know what to respond to. So choose your objectives carefully. And you may choose one. It may be the most important. You want to isolate in on it and go for it. There may be several that you want to go after, but be realistic. Go after those that are the most important, that could have immediate, near-term improvement in your operations. You want to stay in business, and those that lead to more money coming in and increased profit may be kind of useful to you, but you may have other issues. But you decide. You choose your objectives after understanding what all of these problems are. You're focusing in, narrowing in on what you actually want to do. Now we get into this data analytics stuff. There's great opportunity probably in most of the issues that you're facing and most of the objectives that you're going to want to meet. There are significant data analytics, data collection implications. First, recognize that you do have a lot of data that you rely on. Take an inventory of it. What the heck is it? Where is it kept? What do we count? How do we count it? Whether it be in business operations, marketing and sales, which has been in the data analytics kind of business for a long time, and you've read all the acronyms and the kind of data that's followed, well, you may or may not be doing a good job of that. You may have delivery problems with customers, and because your inventory is low, because you can't get parts. Well, how do I know I'm getting them on time? You may have quality issues. Your manufacturing process may have developed some flaws, and you really want to know what information are you collecting now, and hopefully you see maybe the gaps in the data you're collecting and in meeting the quality objectives that you intend. These are just examples. Your challenge here is in the context of the objectives that you're setting for yourself, what's the inventory of the data that you have right now that will help you isolate in on how the processes are working that will help you achieve those objectives. Pretty simple, huh? Yes, easier said than done. I don't have to say it. You already thought it. So, what more is needed? You may need more data. There's missing information in order for you to really be improving the processes that you're targeting. Figure out how you're going to collect it. What is the data? How is it collected? Where does it come from? Who will be responsible? How will I incorporate it into the systems that we have today? What process changes are needed in order to collect it effectively? and store it somewhere and include it in the overall viewpoint you have of the effectiveness of a process in meeting the objectives that you set out to. How is the collection of that data going to be implemented? Who are the teams that are going to actually do it, and have them create a plan for it? That's kind of the next step, is once you've gotten through your inventory, now you're going to know what more I need and how I collect it. You're done, huh? Well, no, you're not. You might have thought so. Even more is needed. Why? Why is that? Well, because this is a new opportunity. The collection of more information and transforming along with your customers to this digital economy that we're dealing with, and the need for more and more information about it, and about your customers. This means that you're going to have to train your people on this whole subject, and you're probably going to have to go out and acquire more talent. You're going to be faced with challenges of finding people that know how to do this kind of stuff. So you're going to form new teams seated with new people that help guide and develop the talents of the rest of the people on these various teams that you're going to be putting in place. It's a major talent challenge for yourself in upskilling, acquiring new talent, and forming teams around them. Whenever you do that, you have a cultural shift to deal with. What's going on? People throughout your company are going to be looking at this and wondering, well, what's going to happen to me? You need to communicate what your new strategy is around data analytics and the methodologies that are being put in place within your company, done by you, and perhaps with a lot of help from some talent that people haven't met yet. The cultural shift requires you to explain it and make sure that you're getting buy-in throughout your company as to why you're doing what you're doing and what this new focus is. You're even going to consider perhaps shifting to a much more agile model of development and responsiveness to customer needs. So you're opening up the floodgates of a lot of change, and whenever you do that, you got to communicate. Make people understand why you are doing what you're doing and answer their questions. So that's it. That's the perspective of what it takes to put together a methodology. Whether you're a consulting service, you put in place a data analytics methodology for your client, or perhaps with some help from people you bring into the company that have data analytics methodology talent. Whichever way you do it, is going to be a major shift for your company. So first and foremost, establish the need right from the beginning. Without that, you're going to be swimming upstream. Select your objectives and determine what is known and what is not known, so that you know what now to collect and fill the gaps by putting in place processes to collect what you need and deal with then the transformational issues that are going to occur within your company. Simple, huh? It's a major challenge. I hope you're up to it. And when you find new ground, you're going to have a great day.